Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome back. So, today we have a gorgeous cherry burl. Obviously, this is the natural end, and this has been put on a bandsaw and rounded out for a blank, but it's very heavy and solid. I'm really hoping that we're going to have a lot of solid wood on the inside. We won't know until we get started, or until we get in there, of course, but I'm very excited to get into this and see what it's going to give us. Let's go. So first thing we need to do is use a Forstner bit to find the center and put this between centers safely. And boy, oh boy, those cracks, I saw those when I got this, but they sure look a lot bigger now that this is on the lathe, I will say. Not going to worry about it just yet. Full steam ahead. Try to get the bottom flattened off and get this thing into round as soon as we can so we can pick up our speed. Yeah, those cracks. Rounding up our corners a bit, and I'm not exactly sure, to be honest, what shape I'm heading toward, but I know that we're going to bring those corners in, and we're going to also get a nice tenon put on here and a foot, so we'll get that going. All of these things help us get it into round. And yeah, those things are deep. But not going to let it dissuade me. I'm going to keep going, and if we need to address them, we'll address them somehow. So this cherry burl was cut about 2 years ago, and it's been sitting. So it's not exactly dry, but so it does have some moisture to it, but also not, I wouldn't necessarily consider this a wet burl. Moisture content wasn't too high. Starting to really see that figuring, but all I see are the cracks right now. And boy, oh boy, they're going in deep. I was thinking I'd turn past them, but I do not believe I'll be able to. Going to move forward with the shape and get us to where we want to be, and then if we decide to address those cracks, we'll do it. So decided to make these cracks a feature. There's no way I'm going to be able to turn past. They're so deep. I would end up with this beautiful cherry burl on the floor. So I used a little Dremel tool to open up those cracks a little bit more, and going to use some 5-minute epoxy in there. It also will help stabilize it because I was very concerned about being able to have a secure tenon because one of the cracks was running right through. Kept putting it in and putting it in, and it kept seeping down. So I'm glad I didn't choose to try to turn past these. Let that cure up, and we're back off to the races. I'm deciding to do a little bit more of a hollow form with this, so we're going to start bringing in the top shape so it's a little more narrow, but not overly so. And I'm planning on leaving a live edge on this, so hopefully that works out. This burl turned very nicely, and as I was hoping there would be plenty of nice solid wood on the inside, there was just humongous cracks. But at least we've got a lot of really nice solid wood that we can play with. Going to get some sandpaper on this and start getting it to where we can turn it around. I take everything to about a 400 grit, and a lot of times I'll burnish the outside afterwards with steel wool and medium Scotch pad, fine Scotch pad. That's what we're doing now. I specifically didn't want to put sanding paste on here because there are a ton of cracks and voids, and that stuff would get inside everywhere. This is just some alcohol to clean things off and get rid of all the dust and stuff. Also gives us a nice first look. Time to get this turned around and in the chuck and start what will be the grueling task of hollowing out this very dense and heavy cherry burl. But I think it'll be worth it. So this whole process, I'm trying not to show you too much of it, but still allow you to see how and in what fashion I hollowed it out. Took quite a while. A lot of it was because I had made the shape into a little bit more of a hollow form shape. It's going to be a little more difficult to hollow. But most of it is just because this is very dense and heavy cherry burl. And it's about 10 inches deep, so decided to go ahead and remove some bulk out of the center. And it also gives me a guide to hollow out. So using a square carbide and just doing straight push cuts very incrementally just to remove that bulk. And once we kind of get the vast majority of the bulk taken out, I'll be using some tools that I can mirror the outside shape on the inside, if that makes sense. As I was hollowing this out, as I was talking about earlier, the moisture content, some of the shavings coming off were kind of cool, which means it was probably a little bit more moist, or had a little bit higher moisture content than I could gauge when I tested it on the outside, which makes sense. Going to use a gooseneck carbide to start scooping out that inside, and again trying to mirror the outside wall shape. This is a negative rake scraper. Try to eliminate some of my inevitable tool marks and smooth things out a bit. The opening on this piece is pretty wide, so I wasn't too worried about putting my hand in there, but still not the smartest thing to do. Just ask my knuckles. This is some alcohol again, just to kind of clean up before we go any further. Get all the dust gone. So far so good. Let's go ahead and see if we can get rid of that tenon now and finish off the bottom. So I'm putting on a jam chuck. Had to be a little bit longer because of the depth of this piece, and see about getting that tenon gone and finishing off the bottom. I'll leave that nub in the center, mostly so I can keep tailstock support, keep this on the lathe, but I'll take it off camera. I'll take it to the drill press and I'll drill that out just the right size for my branding emblem, so I can have a place to put that and get rid of that nub all at one time. But we'll go through and get this sanded to about a 400 grit, just like we did the outside. And I did it off camera, but I also used the steel wool and the Scotch pads to kind of burnish it and give it a real smooth finish exterior. All in all, this piece was a pleasure. It just was a little labor intensive once I got to the hollowing portion of it, but a lot of fun seeing what's inside. That's kind of my favorite thing. So we're going to go through now and put the branding emblem on real quick. As I said, I took this to the drill press and did that off camera. It's just a little activator, so the CA glue sets up almost immediately. And the last thing we'll do is we will use some Danish oil and give her a nice little rub down. Bring out all the beauty we can. I want to thank everybody for all the support, and I really appreciate you tuning in. Best way to support me for free is to hit that notification bell when you subscribe. It lets YouTube know that you're interested in the content, and it really helps with the algorithm. I've got the finish picks coming up in just a moment, so please stay tuned for that. Please comment, tell me your thoughts, and let me know what you'd like to see next. I really would love to listen to everybody and put out the content that you want to see. So again, thank you so much. I really appreciate all the support, and I will see you next time.